Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing a game review. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. I apologize for that. My YouTube channel is, after all, called TR Movie and Game YT. So, back when I first started my channel, my channel was intended for both movies and video games. I've been delaying the whole video game review thing for a long time, but I wanted to kind of bring that segment back to my channel in a very unique, special way. So I decided to do that through a game that I've really enjoyed playing so far, and it's been a big success since December, I think. December of 2018 is when this came out, and that's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. That is the game I am reviewing for everybody today. So I guess to start off, guys, I remember when the first Super Smash Bros. Game came out in 1999. That was a big game for me. I remember renting it from Hollywood Video before purchasing it. And even after that game, Super Smash Bros. Melee came out for the GameCube, and that was huge. That was kind of the game that made me buy a GameCube back in the day. And then we got Brawl, which I remember playing in my junior or senior year in high school, I think it was. And then, of course, we got Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS, which I remember purchasing and that being kind of a big deal at the time. I never bought a Wii U, but pretty much from what I know about that one, it was basically just the 3DS version of Super Smash Bros., but for the Wii U and with exclusive modes to play in that one and stuff like that. It had the same roster and everything. So now we're to this new one, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it has the biggest roster yet. It has every returning character. It has many new faces. It has characters from Castlevania this time. We have downloadable content characters that aren't even released yet. We have tons of new characters, tons of new stages, and a new adventure mode as usual. Usually for every new Super Smash Bros. Game, we get some type of new adventure mode. So I am going to go over that in a little bit here. But I really enjoy this game. It's a very fun fighting game. Like all the other Super Smash Bros. Games, it's very easy to pick up, very easy to kind of grasp the controls. Even if you've never played some of these characters before, it's very easy to kind of get used to where the basic controls are, where the special moves are. So there's a lot to love about this game. So let's kind of go over some positives and negatives as to how I overall feel about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Since I have played it for about a good solid month or so now, I really kind of let the release happen, let people play it, let myself play it, give online mode a chance and stuff like that. So I feel I'm at a point now where I can comfortably kind of talk about how I feel about this game, even if some of the modes aren't completely done yet, even if some of the modes require all the characters to be played and completed. I feel like I am at a point in this game where I'm pretty comfortable for how I feel about it. Obviously, there's some downloadable content that hasn't been released yet, but I guess before that happens, I'm going to kind of give you my thoughts as to where the game stands before all that downloadable content came along. So for my positives and negatives of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you guys, there's tons of things to do in this game. There's a classic mode. There's an adventure mode. There's something called Century Smash now, or Mob Smash for all those Smash modes. There's just tons of things to do. There's team battles. There's something called Squad Strike this time, which lets you play 3-on-3 or 5-on-5. There's online mode. I think in this one you can even have up to 8 players if you have the right amount of controls and if you have the right online mode set up and everything. There's just tons of things to do. There's tons of things you can kind of invent for yourself to kind of do on your own, kind of see which character fits you the best, see which stage fits you the best. Even this time around, they don't just have the stages coming back. What they did this time is they have the normal stages, the way you remember them from previous games, and if it's a new stage, obviously that stage is going to be new for you to get comfortable with. But this time around, they also have battlefield versions of all the stages and Omega versions of all the stages. Though I remember kind of a special form of stage in like the 3DS Wii U version, this time around it's a little more distinct. There's a little more difference about it. So, like, if you do a Battlefield version, it basically is the Battlefield stage, but it would never form like a Mario stage would look like for that, or Legend of Zelda feel would or stage would feel for that. And then for the Omega one, it's basically one big flat surface of whatever the battlefield was, but without the little battlefield pillars and platforms above those that stage surface and so forth. So I really like that feature. It really helps for when like the normal version of that stage doesn't really work for you the best, and it kind of gives you an opportunity to get comfortable to that stage, kind of like a theme of something, and not have to worry about all the little nicks and knacks and gimmicks that maybe certain stages have that are hard to get used to and stuff like that. So, tons of things to do in this game. Like I said, it's very inventive, and you can kind of even invent for yourself as you go along as to how you're exactly going to go about the game and complete things and stuff like that. So, tons of things to do in this game. This is also a great party game. If you have friends over, if you have 4 or 8 or even 20 or 30 friends over, there's so many different modes in this game. There's even a tournament mode which they brought back, which was made famous in Super Smash Bros. Melee. So you can do that. You can kind of see who would win that tournament and so forth. You can set the rules and set the items and all that fun stuff. So this is a very good party game, whether you have just 4 people over or 20 people over at your place. I also like the character controls. It really is a game where Mario is a different experience from Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is going to be a different experience from Simon. Simon's going to be a different experience from Mega Man, and Mega Man's going to be a different experience from Duck Hunt. So, almost every character you choose in this game is going to be a little different from one another, whether it is something as small as Mario to Dr. Mario, or something as huge as maybe Captain Falcon to King K. Rool. They really do kind of have a certain control set, but it's also kind of familiar where all the basic controls are kind of the same, all the special moves are the same. Uh, but like I said, it depends on which kind of character you choose. Certain characters are going to be more speed based, certain characters are going to be more power based, and certain characters are just going to have like a more all around feel where it's not full on power, not full on speed, not full on special moves. It's kind of right in the middle, and maybe for some players that's going to work out the best for some of them. And that goes on to my next point. There's tons of great characters in this game. Whether it is returning characters that you've missed, that maybe some previous Smash Brothers sequels did not include, all those characters are back this time, and there is new characters as well. Probably my favorite new character in this game is King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country. I've loved those games since I was a kid. Another fun addition is Ridley from Metroid, this big purple dragon creature. That character has been requested since I would say Melee, maybe. So that game or that character has been requested for so long. Thankfully, that character finally showed up in a Smash Brothers game. Very fun character to play as well. So just tons of great characters to choose from in this game. I also like how unique and great classic mode is in this game. So if you're playing Ryu from Street Fighter, it's going to feel like playing Street Fighter. If you choose Mega Man, it's going to feel like playing like a Mega Man game. If you're playing a Legend of Zelda character, you're basically going off against other Legend of Zelda characters, and it's kind of a theme to that. And even the final bosses you face, it's instead of Master Hand at the end, maybe you face Ganon, maybe you face Marks from Kirby if you're playing a Kirby character and stuff like that. So I really like how unique and distinct and designed the classic mode is for certain characters. It's a nice touch. They didn't just bring classic mode back, they really brought it back to design it for each and every character that you would choose for that mode in the game. And it's very, very cool that they did that. And like I brought up earlier, the battlefield choice for the stages I thought was a very cool touch. So if you really don't like the normal version of that stage, you can change it to a battlefield. If you really like that theme or that game that stage is from, but you don't exactly like that stage, so they have a way of you changing that to make it so it's a little more comfortable and familiar if you really don't like what the stage is about or the gimmicks of that stage. I also thought the online mode was good this time around. I remember my online mode being around in Brawl and 3DS, and I remember playing those versions in those games. The 3DS one had really good online play. I do remember that. I think the online mode this time was very, very good. Obviously, if one of the players has a bad connection, obviously it's going to slow things down a little bit. But for the most part, if everybody has a good connection, and if they're maybe a couple states away, remember that all the way across the world or anything, but for the most part, I think online play was very good this time around. It plays very smoothly. It feels like they're kind of over at your place already playing this game for a local match. So I thought the online mode was very good in this game. We also get some DLC content later on. Hopefully, it's good ones. I know for sure Piranha Plant's one of the DLC characters. I guess the character from Dragon Quest has, I think, been announced, and I know for sure the Joker from Persona 5 has been announced. So who knows what the other characters and stages are going to be, but I'm really excited. It's kind of cool that even though the game has been out already, there is going to be some downloadable content that you'll be able to download, and hopefully either later this year or in later years, hopefully. They also brought back the Mii fighters, and there's a lot of customizations you can do this time, whether it is designing your character to be a character that isn't in the game, that wasn't on the roster. You can hopefully kind of make your character through the Mii customizations in a way that can be a character that didn't quite make the roster, but is definitely in the spirit of other Nintendo characters. Very nice touch this time around. For my negatives of this game, there was no stadium events this time around, unfortunately, so no sandbag, no home run contest, which is very unfortunate. I really like that mode. I definitely go back to that mode a lot in other Smash Brothers games. It's kind of too bad they didn't bring it around this time around. I would have loved to have seen what some of the new characters could have brought to home run contests. I also thought overall this game could have used more stages, though it's cool to see, all the retro, cool, popular stages from other Smash Brothers games show up in this. There really is only like 5 or 6 new stages, even that. So I really would have liked to have seen other big new stages come along. Unfortunately, because there is so many stages already, they didn't introduce a lot of new ones, and that's kind of the case with some of the new characters as well. So I really thought this game could have benefited from some more stages as well. I also would have liked to have seen, and I haven't really seen another Smash Brothers game do this, but I personally would have liked this, bringing back GameCube Adventure Mode. I thought the Adventure Mode on the GameCube version of Smash Brothers was really good. It's only existed on Melee, but because I liked that Adventure Mode so much, I would have liked to have seen it work its way into this game. It didn't happen, but I would have liked to have seen that. I also think the whole thing with the spirits and the new adventure mode is kind of worthless. It's very easy to change them around, and I feel like I personally have to change them around a lot anyway. So maybe there's slight differences in speed and power in some of the matches in adventure mode, but for the most part, I think the whole spirits thing is a little worthless. I also think the new adventure mode, though cool at times, though a nice idea, definitely very huge and long to play through. Some of the matches in it are almost impossibly difficult, and that's with characters that I'm pretty comfortable with already, and I've been playing the game for a while. So I think some of the matches in this new adventure mode, or World of Light, I think it's called in this one, some of these matches are just impossibly to play through, and I would have liked to have seen at least a little easier time getting through adventure mode in this game because it's very long and some of the matches are very difficult. There's also a presetting feature when you go into Smash mode with friends when you want to design your own fights and everything. Though kind of nice to have the presetting thing. I kind of didn't mind it the way it was in earlier Smash games where you set the stock and the time right when you get there and, set the items and stuff like that. I feel like they made it more challenging this time by, do you want this mode, or this mode that you already set up? And it has to be one of those. So I feel like they could have been better about that, or maybe just offer it. Maybe they didn't have to make it, force it onto the player or anything. So I thought that presetting feature was kind of annoying this time around. I also would have liked to have seen event matches come back. They didn't do it this time. I don't think they've done it for quite a few Smash Brothers games now, but I remember when Melee had it, it was a lot of fun. So I don't know. If they could have brought that back, I would have liked that a lot. No event matches this time, and that's kind of unfortunate. But overall, guys, I'm going to give Super Smash Bros. Ultimate a 9 out of 10. This is a very good game. Definitely highly recommend this game if you have a Nintendo Switch. Like I said, 9 out of 10 for me. Highly recommend it. There's tons of more DLC content even coming for the game anyway, so it's not like when you buy it, that's kind of it. There's going to be more things you can download later on for it. So that's my first game review in a long time, you guys. 9 out of 10 from me. Highly recommend Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I'll see you guys here for the next video.